Hey everyone, welcome back to the range. My name is Matt, also known as the Ammo Nerd, and we have an ammunition review today. One of my favorite calibers, most reviewed, 5.56 NATO or 5.56 by 45 millimeters or 223 Remington. This is from BPS. This is a 55 grain full metal jacket. It does say M193 in the box. Let's carefully set this on the table and talk about what we're going to do today, because this cardboard box would blow apart if I threw it on the table. Now, in full transparency, a good follower of mine, Andrew, donated this BPS M193 for us to review with no strings attached. I do believe he got it from Battlehawk Armory. I do have an affiliate set up with Battlehawk Armory, so if you like the review and you want to make a purchase of this at the end of the day, I have an affiliate link with them, and that earns me a sales commission. It costs you nothing. For our 5.56 testing, we have a huge array of barrel lengths from 7.5 inches all the way up to and including 22. I've talked about getting a 5.5, but I think at that point we're just then blowing powder down range. We have our Pro Pal Digital DLX, as well as our Garmin Zero C1 and an Athlon Optics Rangecraft. It's around 65 to 70 degrees outside today. After we've collected our velocity and a general reliability, we'll step out to around 100 yards to see what kind of practical accuracy we can get with this load, typically with our M193 55 grain full metal jacket. Once we crank that velocity up to what M193 should be, which is 3167 feet per second at 78 feet, so right around the muzzle, we should see over 3200 feet per second. Usually when we crank that velocity up, the group sizes tends to open up, so we'll see how that tends to do. And if we have any kind of failures along the way, we'll be sure to highlight that in the video footage. We start all our reviews out with our shortest barrel length. This is our 7.5 inch upper from PSA. They're a huge support to the channel, 1 in 7 twist. I thought about getting a 5 or 5.5 inch just for that low end extreme short barrel velocity, but I haven't quite pulled the trigger. Me personally, I feel that our 10.5 inch is the bare minimum entry for any personal protection home defense use for 5.56. Pretty darn muzzle flashy, if I do say so myself. Looking right around an average of 2074 from the Garmin on the last shot and 2067 on the Athlon. Not too shabby. Now on to our 10.5 inch, again another PSA build. This has the Rex Selenium low back pressure 5.56 224 can up front. I will say so far from these velocity figures, just really short into our testing, that we may not meet that M193 spec. Normally I'm seeing 2,700 feet per second out of this 10.5 inch. And now on to our 14.5 inch upper. This one's actually from Pro 2A Tactical, another supporter of the channel. They make pretty nice uppers in various oddball calibers, including 9x39 if you're looking. And now on to our 16 inch. This is our Springfield Hellion bullpup, if you can't tell. Ooh, looks like we're falling short, folks. The 20 inch will be the telltale in a second. I am noticing quite a bit of muzzle flash even off the 16 inch with this load. Now on to our 20 inch. This is another PSA upper. It's the FN double chrome line 1 in 7 twist premium barrel. We threw a Sig Sauer 1-6 on our 20 inch, so if we need to do any armor testing in the future, we can actually hit what we're aiming at. Oh, we need 3167 feet per second, and I don't think we're gonna get there. Although the light screen read 3189. And finally, our Armor Slayer. This is our 22 inch TC compass. This has a 1 in 9 twist barrel. Well, folks, I would say this is not quite our M193 spec. We are very close though. Well, color me impressed. This is our BPS 55 grain full metal jacket at 100 yards. We're using the TC Compass 22-inch 1-9 with the first focal plane 14 power scope. Lead sled on a bench, 80 to 85 degrees outside today with the T3 suppressor from YHM. Our first group was 1.535 inches. Then immediately after, our second group, very, very impressive at 0.504. Not sure I pulled that one off, pretty darn amazing. And then our third group, 1.79 inches. You can see we had 4 of them really close together and one maybe flyer. Maybe I pulled that one, hard to say. But I will take that for a 55 grain full metal jacket. Of course, your mileage may vary. There are certainly better people that can shoot a lot better groups than I can. Well, folks, there you have it. Our BPS M193 review is coming to a close. Overall, I would say in probably maybe 15 to 20 degree warmer temperatures, we likely would push our velocity envelope over that 3,200 feet per second mark and meet the velocity spec for this to be called M193. We're sealed on both ends. We didn't have any weird issues with our brass or any failures to fire during the review. Like I said, I fired around 200 rounds of this, and in a grand scheme of things, that is a very small sample size when it comes to ammunition. But usually if we have any kinds of failures in that small sample size, we can extrapolate that out to know that you may want to stay away from this stuff. Now, as far as our precision and accuracy goes, I think that's where this BPS load shines. I shot a sub 1 inch group at 100 yards with this. Now, in the past, when I've shot our Winchester M193 or even that Norinco yellow box stuff from the early 90s, that stuff is smoking fast, but the group size on that yellow box stuff was like 6 inches at 100 yards. So we have that fine line where if we crank the velocity up too much to meet that specification and or go over it, then our group size precision tends to degrade. Overall, I would say if you are looking for a range practice load that is going to give you better precision at range while ensuring good functionality because we're close to that full power load, I would say this BPS M193 would do you just fine. Me personally, I'm going to continue to stack our PPU when available as well as our Winchester M193, but again, besides the PPU, that Winchester M193 doesn't have the accuracy that this BPS does. With all that being said, it's time for me to get the heck out of here. But at the end of all my videos, I take a moment to thank all those who help make these possible because there's a lot that goes into them. Number one is my family. A big thank you to Amy and Deacon. They're always out here helping. Deacon would like to remind you all to like, subscribe, and share these videos so that a algorithm can work for us and not against us. Subscriber-wise, I am a smaller channel, and I think YouTube likes to hide my stuff and or I'm not as entertaining as other channels, but if you're looking for cold, hard data, that's what I'm here for. Number two are my Patreon and YouTube channel members. I have a campsite in the description below. I can't tell you what's in there, but it's a landing page with different affiliate codes or discount tracking links. And if you want to use one of those to say thank you to the channel, I pretty much put all that money back into the range so that I have the most ideal setup or different barrel lengths to do some of this testing. I just spent a bunch of money to have an excavating crew come out and clean up some of this and get us a little more height off of our berm. So any of that is greatly appreciated. Number three is our fine friend Andrew. Again, in full transparency, purchased this BPS M193 from Battlehawk Armory for us to demo with no strings attached. And of course, number four is you all for watching. Until next time, I'll catch you at the range.